So King Vegeta sends assassins to kill his mistress and their illegitimate bastard child, and one of the assassins is a 4-year-old Prince Vegeta, and then he delivers the finishing blow, killing her? What? Okay, King Vegeta is savage as fuck.
Know your place, worm. Prepare yourself. Damn Saiyan.
For those of you guys getting used to my Dragon Ball X Apocalypto series, I will return to those videos and keep that story going, but I wanted to go back to Dragon Ball New Age because I still had the second chapter of this great manga that I have not read before, and I am telling you, the first part of this manga had me extremely excited of what could come next, of what could happen in this series. This takes place after Dragon Ball GT, but now that I read the second chapter, I feel like this is more like Dragon Ball Z than Dragon Ball GT. It's giving me those Dragon Ball Z vibes, and the dialogue and Rigor, oh my god. If anybody had a backstory that you can kind of relate to and root for, it's definitely Rigor. I mean, he is basically Vegeta's Raditz, but he has such a better backstory and more motivation for trying to kill Vegeta than Raditz had for even being on Earth. So we start off with Dragon Ball New Age trying to make GT Bulma look cute as fuck, and she does look adorable. She looks very similar to what we saw in Dragon Ball Super, although she's a little bit older. Her dialogue with Vegeta at the very start is very sweet. Vegeta has taken on this role as the savior of Earth, and he's actually 100% dedicated to it. He's more dedicated to that role than anything else that we've seen so far in Dragon Ball. And even though Bulma's a little upset that, yeah, she's gonna have to patch him up after he trains, after he fights, she's still 100% on board with this, and she knows that even though Vegeta's a little rough around the edges, she knows she likes that sort of thing. She likes that rough Vegeta. But Rigor and his wife end up coming into planet Earth, and this sounds off all the alarms at Capsule Corporation. And Vegeta, like a G, tells Bulma, I'm not gonna wait for backup. They landed in my city, damn near hit my house. I'm going right now to face these opponents head on. I just love this version of Vegeta. He's just so well written in this. And so is Rigor, and so is all the other characters actually, because we go to the lookout and Trunks is donning his Dragon Ball Z outfit. That had me geeking out. I was like thinking, wait a minute, let me go back to the first chapter. Was he wearing that outfit? No, he's wearing a suit. So he's not wearing the shitty GT outfit. He's wearing his badass, iconic Trunks outfit that we all know and love so much. So he heads off, and they all kind of scramble to try to figure out exactly how they're going to face off this problem. And Goku, again, was revived in the last chapter. So he's been training with Oob and the rest of the Z Fighters on the lookout. And as they recover, Goten and Piccolo go on ahead. They go first, right behind Vegeta, to see if they can become some sort of backup. So here's where he explains that King Vegeta ended up killing his mom. He sends assassins after them, and she sent them to a planet that the Frieza Force, or any planet that's under the Frieza Force realm, could not go to. And on this planet is where he honed a lot of his skills, because the king of this planet was excited to have 2 Saiyans into his fighting force, so they became kind of like the honor guard of the king. But ultimately, the king ended up betraying them because he feared their power. And this is one of the big things. Rigor has a huge amount of power that's been hinted, or he keeps saying throughout his explanation. And so they end up destroying the race, or the planet, or whatever the case might have been on that, and flying off to a different planet where those inhabitants welcomed them in with open arms and didn't really ask too much of them. So he ended up living there for a while, up until he figured out that Vegeta was still alive. And then so he took his wife and went off on a goose chase to find Vegeta, which he ultimately did. Now Rigor wants to fight Vegeta hands down, but Vegeta is not the same Vegeta that we've known up to this point. He is a completely different Vegeta, and he tells them, no, we're leaving this city. We're not fighting in this city. I will not fight you here. We need to go somewhere else that's less populated. And Rigor actually takes this, and yeah, he's like, okay, that's fine. We'll go to a less populated, less densely packed area. And so they go off to an island, and this is where Vegeta goes into his Super Saiyan 4 transformation. But of course, we already know, I already got the hints that this is not going to be enough, and it's not, because Rigor does not seem really fazed by this at all, besides the fact that he's surprised that Vegeta can go into Super Saiyan 4, and then his wife is just in the background offering commentary like, nah, you ain't strong enough to face my husband. You need to either level up or get your friends down here because he's going to wreck all of you. And Rigor actually puts his power a little bit up. I think it was at 60%. And when him and Vegeta clash, Rigor is basically doing what Frieza did to Vegeta on Planet Namek, where he is not letting Vegeta land any blows. And when he actually uses some of his power, he's too fast to see. And this is where we get the explanation of what exactly Rigor's beef is with Prince Vegeta. And it comes out to be that Prince Vegeta, as a 4-year-old, ended up landing the death blow on his mom. He's the one that killed her, and he saw that. That was the last thing that played in his head. And just the story of Rigor is not only enthralling, but it just makes you feel for the character. It makes you feel like this character is an actual person. Like, I like the fact that they went this route and they gave him such an in-depth story. And the fact that Vegeta, he even said it himself, Vegeta's not going to remember. But the fact that Vegeta ended up killing his mom, yeah, he has a legitimate reason to want to fight Vegeta. And even though Vegeta doesn't remember, he still has that reason. And so the motives for Rigor are 100% well established here. And we know exactly what Rigor wants to do to Vegeta. I've relived that moment every day since. Not a night has gone by that I haven't dreamt of the day when you would be crushed and broken, laying in the dirt, groveling before me just as you are now, like the dog that you are. You are going to suffer just as I have all these years. I will grind you into nothing more than a bloody smear across my fists. And once I see your crumbled, broken body, and I watch you choke on your own blood as you beg me for mercy, I will snuff your life out slowly and painfully. Damn. I love this guy. I love this dialogue. They have done a fantastic job with creating such a believable character and adding dialogue that matches. It just feels so good. Like, that threat was greater than any threat that I've seen in all of Dragon Ball. That was fantastic. That was fan-fucking-tastic. Either way, Vegeta seems like he's screwed. He's got his friends coming, but of course Rigor's wife's like, they aren't much. They're coming, but they're only gonna be fodder. And so closes chapter 2, and I gotta say, this was fantastic. If you haven't heard my excitement for this was cool. This felt like Dragon Ball Z. Like, I was playing Bruce Falconer's track in my head as I was watching this. I could tell the cues of which song was gonna come on and at what time. Like, it's fantastic. I love this. This is great. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought of Dragon Ball New Age Chapter 2. What do you think of Rigor? Is he one of the best antagonists that you've seen so far in a Dragon Ball fan manga? And if not, let me know who your favorite one is and why. This is going to be Blackscape signing off. Take care, guys.